part 4 of our 4-part series on the overview of the DubLi business system. And again, these videos can't do it justice. When the manual comes out, you'll be able to see how much more detail there is in each one of these steps. The purpose of these 4 videos just kind of overview the system, kind of get you understanding what's going on, but understand every facet of this is scripted, it's turnkey. Everything you want to find in there, from running DubLi days to exact scripts on how to run a group presentation to one-on-one presentations to online webinars, all those things are in there. We're just kind of basically skimming the surface of these 4 videos. When we've gone through, obviously, the introduction, we talked about step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and today we're going to focus in on step 5, the fast start, and step 6, duplication. So excited to go ahead and dive into this. It's going to be a great show. So sit back, get ready to take some notes, and here we go. Now, step 5, the fast start. And I'll tell you what, this is, like all the other steps, just critical to helping you go out there and have duplication throughout your team. The purpose of the fast start is to get all of your new BAs off to a fast and effective start to start building their DubLi network business. It's huge. Matter of fact, I believe the first few days of a BA's DubLi network career is one of the most important times in their career. It's kind of like a new baby when they're first born. Those are the most critical moments. They breathe and the lungs are clear and they get warm, and there's all these things they have to do to make sure they can grow and be healthy. Well, the first few hours and days of a DubLi network business BA's career is just as important. And really, time has proven the faster the start, the better chances they have of success. And what we want to do is we want to put them in the best position for success. We want to find the best ways to lock them into the business, where we kind of save them from themselves and all the human nature tendencies we talked about, procrastination, those kind of things, so they can really go out there and win for their family. I mean, what we do is just amazing. It has a huge impact in people's lives. So, very little is accomplished, that's important to know, by merely signing somebody up in DubLi Network. People think, oh, I got them to sign up, they're in. Your responsibility as a leader is to prepare your new BA for possible obstacles they may meet, and provide positive experiences and get some results as soon as possible. This is huge. See, the leader's work isn't complete until the BA becomes a self-sustaining leader in DubLi Network. The 2 biggest keys to me in the fast start are shaping their mind and building their team. And the fast start interview, well, that's the key. It's the critical piece of the system for getting true commitment and to set the direction for the new BA. This is a one-on-one meeting, and you try to do it one-on-one every single time, because it really has so much going forward in building their career that helps them. It gives them a chance to be with the leader up close and personal, and really is the most effective way to start the fast start process. We obviously had them commit to coming back for that follow-up interview, and here we go. The main focus of the fast start interview is to get the new person started, committed, and off to a fast start. There's some things you ought to have there. You ought to have the fast start interview outline, which is basically just the page out of the manual that shows the questions. And I'd put it on the desk in front of you and say, look, our interview is so turnkey, I'm going to read it to you. You can have 4 or 5 of the top 25 prospect list forms from the manual. Copy the memory jogger sheet. The fast start guide. Now, the fast start guide is a abbreviated version of the DBS for a new BA. It kind of has their role in the invitation process and the presentation process. Have that with you as well, and that's all. I wouldn't give them the full manual in the beginning. I just give them the fast start guide. That way they kind of know what they're supposed to be doing. Give them the fast start checklist from the manual, so they go through and check off their different things, and then give them the 5x5 tracker sheet. That'll kind of keep that goal of getting 5x5 going throughout their team. And obviously, we set that up in the interview here in a minute. You'll hear more about it in step 6 as well. But the 5x5 will just be a huge tool for you to go out there and get geometric growth going throughout your team. Now, you want to make sure the interview is conducted at the office or another quiet location during the day. The recruiter should attend if possible. Not there at work, that's fine, but try to get them there if possible. And spend a few minutes at the beginning getting to know the new prospect better, build a little rapport. But seriously, follow this outline. It works, I promise you. So here are the questions. You start off with, tell me a little bit about yourself, and just kind of have them talk about their background, their family, some of the things they're interested in. 2, from what you've seen so far, what excites you the most about DubLi.com and DubLi Network? Find out what it is that makes them, what's the appeal? Is it building a huge team? Is it international business? Is it being involved in e-commerce? Is it building a big customer base? What is it? 3, what would you like to get out of building a business with DubLi Network? Find out what their why is. Once you find the why, They're gonna do everything you have to do to go out there and make sure that why happens. It's a great way for you to motivate them. It might be getting out of the job they have now, or making a serious extra income, or they have a dream home in mind, or something. Find out what those whys are, and that'll be a great tool for you to use down the road and right away to get them motivated to go out there and build their business. Question number 4. Do you have any questions we haven't covered yet that you'd like to get answered? And this is important because you want to make sure that you get all those questions out of the way. Once you do that, then you say, now, from what you've told me, I can't think of one reason for you not to give this business a try. Can you? And they usually say, oh, no, I'm excited, I'm ready to go. Great. If they say no, they're ready to go. Proceed to question 6, keep going. If they say yes, then find out what that reason is and kind of overcome any objection they might have. A good way to do that is to ask this question. I've really found that there are just only 2 reasons people don't join DubLi Network. It's because they either don't believe what we are saying or they don't understand something. Is there something in particular that you don't believe or understand? See, it's a great question to kind of get it on the table. They might think it's it's this or it's that, or oh, I can't be in sales. Well, again, I always answer a question with a question. Well, do you like sales? Well, no, I don't. Well, great, then you're going to love this. If they say yes, they like sales, say great, you're going to love this. I mean, just help them get through these barriers. Maybe something small. Usually it is something small. They might say they don't have the time right now, they're too busy. And I say, I understand that completely. But most people who do real well with us are the ones that don't have time. And I love what Michael Hansen said in the meeting in Dubai, that he was a really, really busy man. He had a lot of businesses going on. He was first approached about this industry. And Michael said he was just kind of too busy. And the guy says, well, in a year from now, are you going to be too busy? And he's like, yeah, I probably will be. Well, how about 2 years from now? You'd be too busy then? Yeah, I probably will be. And he goes, 3 years from now? And Michael's like, yeah, I'll be busy then too. He goes, well, then we definitely got to talk because you're too busy. We got to find some way to get you some free time to go out there and really enjoy your life. And I love that example. And so there's easy ways, from a heart-to-heart way, to overcome these objections and move forward and getting them to make the decision to get on board and get things really going in a big way for their family. Now, the big question. I love this one. I say, now as we get started, I have one very important question to ask you. Do you want strong leadership from me or weak leadership? I'm telling you, this question is paramount to the direction we go from here forward with this new BA. And they usually say strong and say, great, I'm glad you said that, because a weak leader is someone who wouldn't give you any direction and would just hope you figure it out. But a strong leader is someone who will walk you through each step and leaves nothing to chance. That's what you want, right? No, of course, say yes. Say great. Say great. There's 4 things we need to do right now then to get you started. First, we need to get you signed up for DubLi Network, and we'll do this in just a few minutes. Second, we're going to start your prospect list today with the goal of coming up with your initial 100 prospects, and then with the goal, obviously, to identify your top 25. Third, we're going to start contacting those prospects immediately to start building your business. And lastly, we're going to get you signed up as a VIP customer, so you and your family can start saving money on the things you're buying every day. While it's not required to do this, it's just something that makes sense because you can save a lot of money, plus it's really hard to convince others to sign up when they don't really use DubLi yourself. DubLi.com is a powerful site. Everybody should be on it, whether they come on board or not. Now, if the prospect gives you a pushback on any of these items, as well, I don't know about making a list, or I really don't know if I want to sign up today, or I really don't know if I want to become a customer, whatever it might be, and that doesn't happen very often, but if it does, say, well, when I asked you if you wanted strong leadership or weak leadership, and you said you wanted strong, were you serious or not? They go, well, yeah, I was serious. Okay, well, great. Here we are, the very first 4 things you got to do to build your business, and getting a little pushback, and you wanted strong, so I'm here to help you, right? So we can get these things handled today, fair enough, good, and you move forward. It just reminds them, the strong leadership part really makes them understand that's what they want. They want to succeed, but they got to submit themselves to that strong leadership. That's why I love that question so much. 8, go ahead and sign up with DubLi Network. Use the memory jogger sheet form. Again, you can start there with the new BA. You want to set an appointment to get back with the husband and wife and kind of do it together in their home here pretty soon. You get a goal at least get 100 names, but most people with that memory jogger come up with 300 or 400 names. So it's a very, very powerful tool to go use. And then number 10 in the interview, we're going to introduce them to the 5x5 program. And I know this 5x5 program works. It does put them in the best position to go out there for success. In my last company, I helped mentor one of our field leaders from about $5,000 a month to $2.3 million a year. in about 18 months, and he sold out to the 5x5. So I know this works. It's a way to build geometric progression throughout your team. And here's how you introduce it to the new BA. We'll come back in step 6 and talk to you more about the details of it, but it's a really, really simple setup. Here's how it goes. As we get started, I want you to know that with DubLi Network, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So in a sense, you really are building your own company within DubLi Network. Now, of all the people we have on this list, this initial prospect list we've made, who are the 12 people you've always wanted to be in business with and would love to have on your board of directors of your company within DubLi Network? And they'll tell you a few names. And say, great, our goal then, you might asterisk them on the prospect list, you know who they are. Our goal is to get at least 5 to 6 of these people in business with you in your first 2 or 3 weeks. Anything less than that I'll consider a very slow start, and you don't want a slow start, do you? Of course, they'll say no. And so obviously our goal now is to go out 2 or 3 weeks, they know, you know, and get 5 or 6 people in the business, using one of the approach methods we talked about back in step 2 in the contact. And by the way, we tell them, what do you think you're going to do with those people once they come on board? We're going to do the exact same thing. They're building their company within a company, and we're going to bring on their board of directors as well, and we're going to help them go out and get 5, and those 5 that come on board, we'll do the exact same thing with them, and we're going to go out there and orchestrate a very big team for you in short order. Matter of fact, after 2 or 3 levels of 5x5, you could have upwards of 100 people on your team. You might even show that to them a little bit as well, but you ask the question, can you see how quickly your team can grow in a fairly short period of time? Now I'm going to come back and talk to you about the whys and wherefore in 5x5, but that's a very, very powerful concept to go out and get things going. 11, we're going to schedule when and how. We'll help them to contact their prospects, whether we're going to use the phone invitation or the email/social media contact. And we're going to start really taking off using the methods we found in step 2. And the last one, we're going to sign them up as a VIP customer. So we can start saving them money on the things they buy every day, give them a quick tour of how it all works, show them shopping, entertainment, encourage them to start using it every day, and really get their spouse to do the same thing. The goal in field training a new BA the first 30 days is to really have 5 to 10 new BAs direct to them in the first few weeks using the 5x5, and at least 5 to 10 BAs up under those recruits. This really locks them in the business. You have a minimum of 5 to 10 VIP customers. They got some cash flow coming in from that as well. And you'll be out there at least putting 3 or 4 nights a week and weekends as well to help them get their goal to getting about 10 presentations a week in. See, the secret for most industry legends out there for the fast start is to maximize every new prospect's chances of success, guide them, discover their why, shape their mind, and start building their team immediately. One of my favorite stories I've heard in this industry, one of my mentors early on, when he first got in the business, this is back in the financial services industry, and he had to get licensed, and he just gotten his license, and his upline came to town, and he went up to his upline and says, let me ask you a question. I just got my license. What would a good first month be for a guy like me? And his upline said, well, I have lots of guys that'll have, 18 to 20 personal recruits and about 18 to 20 personal sales. So, a good first month would be about 18 to 20 personal sales and personal recruits. He's like, great, thank you. And off the upline left. And about a month or so later, he came back, and the upline asked him, well, how'd your first month go? And the mentor friend of mine says, well, didn't go so well. He goes, I only had about 18 personal recruits and about 17 or 18 personal sales. And the leader said, well, that's okay. You'll do it next month. And he left. Well, about 3 days later, the leader's bulletin for that company came out. He looked on there and he realized he was the #1 personal recruiter in the entire company and #2 in personal sales. And he realized his upline had lied to him. He said he had lots of guys that would go do that. And he was mad for about 3 or 4 seconds. And then he realized that upline did the greatest favor he could ever do. He stretched his vision. Now he realizes what he's capable of doing in a month, and obviously had a lot of cash flow from it. So you really have a chance with the new recruit to set the sail. Don't give them low expectations, and don't give them ones that are too ridiculous either. But the 5x5 program is simple. They know they can get 5 in their first 30 days. Help those 5 get 5. Now, we're not a 5x5 company. Obviously, you got to build wide here, and you got to build deep. But once you get your first 5 in, you'll get your next 5 and your next 5, and you keep building blocks of 5x5, and your business can really, really explode. So the fast start's critical. Use the hiring interview. Lay that sheet down on the desk. Ask them question for question, so it's very turnkey. They go, man, I can give an interview. All I did was read the questions. This is simple. And that's how simple step 5, the fast start, can be. Now let's talk about step 6, duplication. Now duplication is huge because obviously we have our 6 steps. We prospect, we approach, we present, we follow up, we fast start, but now we got to duplicate that process over and over again and create this machine that we want to build to really have geometric growth taking place throughout our organization. The purpose of duplication is to build and run a business system that produces leaders and customers simultaneously and has a chance to grow exponentially. We want this thing to take off so we can really leverage our time and have our leaders have their teams grow exponentially, have our incomes grow exponentially, and of course our customer base grow exponentially as well. We went back to the earlier slide about, our goal is to build that prototype and then duplicate it over and over again so we can go out there and conquer the world. This is what duplication is all about, having that system flow down. We're repetitiously methodical and predictable, and we're doing the same things over and over and over again. See, the 2 things to make that happen though, number 1, I mentioned this right off the top, the key here is to imitate, not create. The wheel is already 360 degrees round. You don't have to go out and reinvent the wheel. Follow the system the way it is. Don't try to change things to fit your personality or this and that. Stick to it. I've been in this industry for 27 years. The ones who stick to it the closest, the most exact, and the fastest always make the most money, build the biggest teams. It's just the way it's been. Number 2, remember, marketing is the opening of outlets or new people coming on board and the gathering of customers simultaneously. So as you work that system, you'll have prospects come in the door, you have leaders come out the other side who are running a successful DubLi network business, but you also have DubLi.com customers who are using our shopping mall and our auctions and entertainment coming out as kind of the byproduct of running the system. Now, from the E-Myth book, there's 5 steps to turn yourself into the perfect copy machine. Number 1, find a plan that works, and we have one with the DBS. 2, do it over and over again. 3, the repetition of these simple steps leads to inevitable growth explosions. Work through the system over and over again. Just keep repeating it. Number 4, create a cookie cutter exactness. When you're using a cookie cutter, it comes out the exact same shape every single time. And you want to have that kind of cookie cutter exactness with your business. And last, that creates a machine that then builds and runs your business. See, to make sure you have duplication throughout your team, you got to train each BA and teach them exactly what they need to know how to go out there and win. Keep your information and training simple. Make the blueprint for your business, your motivation, and your recognition and recognition systems and recruiting programs easy to follow and transferable. Something that all people can go out there and do, and really just follow the pure DubLi business system. I promise you great things will happen if you do that. To make sure you have duplication throughout your team, master the pure system. Study the DBS manual that's out repeatedly in every facet of the business. I'd take that manual with you. I'd carry it, take notes in the margins, and just study it and study it where this becomes second nature to you, where you understand every bit of it and it just becomes part of your business being. And at the same time, make sure you're a master copy worth duplicating. Make sure you're recruiting personally. Make sure you're following the system. Make sure you're getting customers, and make sure you're shopping at DubLi.com and you're involved in the express auctions and doing all those things. Be the master copy that you want your people to copy. It's huge. It's very, very important. One of my mentors early in the business, he'd recruit a few people, and all of a sudden he'd start working with them, and they'd kind of die away. And he'd recruit people and do the exact same thing over and over again. And he wasn't getting any growth. And he called his upline and was kind of complaining about it. And his upline said to him, "What are you doing? Duplicating yourself again?" So if we're not doing the right things, our people watch what we do, and they're going to go duplicate that as well. I said it earlier, but I want to say it again. You got to make sure you're the master copy worth duplicating. See, one of the most exciting aspects of the DubLi network opportunity is a chance to have your business grow exponentially to leverage your time. It stems from having a viral concept, which we have with DubLi.com, and a simple system that allows rapid duplication and geometric growth on a global scale. Now, again, I mentioned earlier, the best way to get that done is the 5x5. We kind of showed you the approach of the new BA and how we kind of set it up, talking about building his board of directors and his company within a company and how we're going to get his first 5 in his first 2 or 3 weeks and repeat the process. This is a very powerful concept because you got to understand that multiples and exponential growth don't just happen. It has to be orchestrated, and it all starts with your next BA that comes in the business. And if you'll start doing this right now, see, most teams will go out there and they'll recruit. Let's say you're recruiting 50 a month in your team. and you have 50 this month and 52 next month and 48 and 52, it's growth, but it's not exponential growth. And so as you use the 5 by 5, you'll see that 50 go to like 75, and then 110, then 180, then 300. And you'll start seeing that's per month. You'll see that kind of growth take place. You have exponential team growth going throughout your organization. So let's talk about it a little bit. Remember, in the Fast Start interview, we talked about having the board of directors, the goal of having 5 to 6 people in the business with them in the first 2 or 3 weeks. So they went out and they got 5. They each got 5 each. That's 25, and they got 5 each. That's 125, and they got 5 each. That's 625. So just do 3 or 4 levels, the 5 by 5. And it won't always work that way. Sometimes they'll get 3 or 4. Sometimes they'll get 6. But it just kind of shows you the potential here if you really drive this and focus in on it. Let me ask you a question. Will this BA miss a meeting? Will they get trained? Will they become a customer? Will they quit? They're not going to miss a meeting. Of course they're going to get trained. They'll definitely become a customer. They're not going to quit because fear of loss motivates most people more than hope for gain. And they look around and they see, man, I got 100 people on my team. If I don't hang around here, I'm going to miss out in a big way on the revenue that can come in from this team. So you effectively have put them in the best position to win. At the same time, you've locked them into the business. That new BA is not going to go anywhere. They got a team. They have something to lose if they were to get out of the business. See, a lot of times you recruit somebody and they're in the business 30, 60 days and you didn't really focus much on building their team. They got a few customers. There's not a whole lot to lose. But if you drove the 5 by 5 up under them, and while you're driving the depth, they're getting their next 5, you're locking them in the business. You're also putting them in the best chance to go make money for their family and succeed, which is what you want to do. At the same time, you're protecting your time investment in the new BA who later decides the business might not be for them. They might say, you know what, this really isn't for me. Well, those 5 they recruited directly, if they fall out of the business, are now 5 people direct to you. So you've protected your time in a whole new warm market, and you're creating quantum growth throughout your team. See, the 5 by 5 solves a lot of problems and helps you orchestrate growth and geometric progression, which is what you want to have in your business. Now, as we come down the home stretch here of this particular video in this series, you always hear in their industry to keep the main thing the main thing. I hear it all the time. You have to keep the main thing the main thing. I didn't know what that meant. And then we got it defined one day. How do you know if you're doing this? How do you know if you're keeping the main thing the main thing? Well, ask yourself these simple questions. And if you can answer all these to the affirmative, then obviously you got some great things happening and you are keeping the main thing the main thing. Do you have with you at all times your current top 25 prospect list? Not the one from last week or last month, last year. The one that this week you said, these are the 25 people I'm going to go out and contact personally. If you have that, you're keeping the main thing the main thing. Number 2, how many contacts, invitations did you make personally last week, and who specifically are going to contact this week? Poor is 0 to 5 contacts, average is 5 to 10, goods 10 to 15, and great's 15 and up. And grade yourself. And if you're 0 to 5, what business are you in? Are you really building a DubLi network business? Doesn't sound like it, because you should be contacting people to watch presentations, because the leader with the most people watching presentations make the most money. It's real simple. Then doing proper follow-up, where you're doing 5 by 5, and you kind of see how it's starting to go. We have a systematic approach now you can go out there and follow. But look where you were last week and just improve on this week. And each week, keep the main thing the main thing. The question 3, do your leaders have their top 25 prospect list? And how many contacts did they make last week? And more importantly, who are they going to contact this week? See, it's important for you as the leader to know that they're doing this as well. You want to follow up, and not in a boss type way, but just get a system of accountability going where they want to submit themselves to accountability. And so you kind of keep and help them, remind them to go out there and obtain their why. So it's real important that they have their list. And see, once you do these 3 things, then it's really just a matter of running smooth, exciting presentations, making sure the follow-up appointment's being set, ensuring the fast start interviews are done correctly, and then having leaders who can effectively explain the benefits of DubLi.com in the presentation, and then make sure the BAs are swiftly repeating the process. It's a pretty simple business when you get it down to those 3 main points being handled. And your ultimate goal should be to build 8 to 10 personal, direct, giant VP or SVP type leaders across the world. You know, the comp plan we have here with DubLi Network, the amazing thing up window that's open with DubLi.com, and just our opportunities is so much better than everyone else out there. If you build 8 to 10 giant direct leaders who are vice presidents or SVPs, the income you'll make, it'll blow your mind. I mean, there's just so much potential here. That's your goal. That's the reason we're building it. We have this factory going. We have prospects coming in, leaders coming out with a goal of 8 to 10 direct. I'm talking big ones. And you might take 50 or 75 or 100 directs, maybe more, but to find 8 to 10 giant ones. But your goal is to have 8 to 10 giant ones. And you just got to go out there, build wide, build deep. And as we close things out, here's our challenge to you. Number one, work hard. It's not hard work, but work hard. Put the time in. Go through the numbers. Put the hours in to go out there and build your business. Anything worthwhile is worth working for, and this is definitely an opportunity worth working for. 2, follow the system. Not your version, but the pure system. Follow it exactly. Remember, the leaders who follow it the most exact and the quickest make the most money. And 3, treat people right. Do right by your people in all the decisions you make. Be a servant leader. Be honest. Be forthright. And always put your people first. Now, there are no guarantees in this business, but I can almost guarantee you do all 3 of these things, you'll succeed, because I've never seen anyone in my 27 years who's done all 3 of these things that's failed. They've all received a very large measure of success. But I've seen many people do 2 of these 3 things and fail. I know people who have worked really hard and they follow the system, but they don't treat people right. They're just they're not quite honest. They fail. I see people go out there and they work hard, they treat people right, but they don't follow the system. And because of the system, they just never get any growth and they fail. I see people go out there and they love the system, they love people and they treat them right, but they don't work very hard, and they fail as well. So commit today to do all 3 of these things. Work hard, follow the system, treat people right, and realize, I love what Michael said at the meeting, being at the right place at the right time has a whole new meaning now with DubLi.com and DubLi Network, and it does. You are able to use this system to go out and take advantage of what I think is one of the biggest economic windows ever opened in our industry. Seize it for your family. Seize it for you. Don't miss this opportunity, and know that every single person you sit across from is someone who's hurt and worried and frustrated just like you. They want to have their own business. They want to control their own destiny. They want to make a lot of money. And there's no place better than DubLi Network. And if we do all this together collectively as a leadership team, we're going to go out and recruit the planet, and phenomenal things are going to happen. I look forward to seeing you at our next big event. Stay tuned for more classes on the DBS coming up on DubLi Academy, more training shows on DubLi TV. I mean, you're going to hear a lot about this over the next little while. Study the DubLi Business Manual over and over again. Take notes, become a student of the system, and great things will happen. Hey, thanks for your time. Look forward to seeing you soon.